In tonight's damn award recipient goes to Roger Goodell and the good people of the NFL's legal department after what Pat McAfee described as a total failure lawyer, or as he called it, dipshit lawyer, sent a cease and desist to Pat McAfee Incorporated, stating that they are not authorized to use NFL logos, including team insignias, on any graphics that the show produces. For those of you who are unaware, the Pat McAfee Show was started by the former All-Pro punter in 2018 and has very quickly become one of the largest non-cable sports shows on the planet. Additionally, Pat McAfee paid the NFL $4 million for the rights to broadcast highlights and game footage on his show, which in a bizarre turn of events, the NFL and its lawyers are stating does not include rights to use NFL logos on Pat McAfee's show produced graphics, despite the NFL remaining markedly non-litigious against just about everyone else on YouTube, considering that you can find the logos of all 32 NFL teams plastered across YouTube with no more effort than a scroll. Additionally, the NFL seems to have doubled back on the recent efforts to work with people like McAfee in broadcasting and media production, as he's become nothing less than a content creation giant since he started the show in 2018. And what will almost certainly be followed by a PR nightmare, carefully written apology statement, and potentially firings. We thank the NFL for their buffoonery that won this week's damn award. There we are.
Well, it's a incredible business sometimes, and there's lots of lawyers involved, and there's lots of money involved. And I'm stunned. I didn't know this until you brought it up. I've been busy with the radio show today and trick or treating and all that. Like, I was stunned. I thought it was a joke when you first started talking about it. And I'm like, wait a minute, is that true? And it is true. I mean, he pays so much money, and like, why wouldn't, I don't know. I mean, the NFL knows that, I'll say it this way. The NFL also views guys like and shows like Pat McAfee as competition, right? That's what they do because they're trying to produce their own content, right? So this is a way for them to, oh, you pay us all this money. It doesn't include this particular thing. But there's so many other shows out there that are doing this all the time that just don't have the views and don't have the scope and the eyeballs that Pat McAfee does, obviously. And I've been a guest on Pat McAfee's show, and I've been a guest on a lot of shows, and they do these things. They put these logos on, and they don't touch them. And this seems like a big power play by the league. But this is something that it's almost like a runaway train, though, and they have to they pick and choose who they want to fight their battles with, and because Pat is obviously so big and people know and who he is and what his show's about, it's an easy target, I guess, if they want to do something like this. But he's done so much for the NFL. He pumps them up so much. I'm disappointed the league would do that.
Right. It seems like of all the people you could go after, I feel like it's a weird one to choose.
Yeah.
To go after a guy like him. And especially not only that, the guy's one of the most fun-loving people. You're not going after like public enemy number one. Like if it was Tom Brady that did his own show for all the stuff.
Like you're not going after Barstool, right? I mean, Barstool, when they had their thing that went on with Roger Goodell, you could see like, oh yeah, they're going to do whatever they can to shut him down and get him and make him pay for this or pay for that. But Pat, he hypes the league, he promotes the league. He's not wearing Goodell clown shirts, and things like that. That's what's disappointing. But look, I mean, the NFL is really big business when it comes to this stuff. There's so many rules that we all have to follow who are credentialed media and even non-credentialed media. But the non-credentialed media, basically, they don't have as many consequences if they don't follow the rules as us credentialed media. We can have our credentials revoked. And, we work for entities that get fined a lot of money if we break these rules. Something simple as, and people might not know this, but in my job, like I can't wear a logo on the sidelines other than Nike, Bills, NFL. Like I can't wear an Adidas logo, for example, because the NFL has the rights to all of the clothing. Now, if I just wanted to wear a suit and tie, I could do that. But if I'm going to wear any athletic apparel, it's got to have the Nike logo on it. I cannot wear a WGR logo on the sidelines. A local radio station. That's true.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that. I know there's even back to like OTAs. I mean, what you guys can actually speak on, formations, whatever it is. I mean, you guys are very, very. Now, is that team by team or is that blanketed?
That is team by team. That particular rule is team by team, but most teams follow a general consensus of the same rules. We have lots of rules about when we could tweet, when we can't, what we could tweet, what we can't. No live video from practice, things like that.
Right.
Now, there are teams that have other rules for this stuff. For example, I don't know if it's still the same. I know I heard the Saints were like this, but it doesn't matter. Like, I know there are some teams where, like, if you go out to practice, if you want to tweet even during I think it's like the training camp period and stuff like that, I think you have to leave and go back to the media room and you can tweet, but then you can't come back out. Right? I mean, like, it's weird. We are not allowed to tweet anything live at practice. We have to wait till practice is over. But the Bills are also very good about knowing sometimes there's things that are really important and big, and they want, hey, you guys, it's okay to tweet that, something like that. And they want
Right.
to help us. And they work with us. And to me, that's what it's all about: having that communication, right? Having the understanding of all of that stuff that goes along with it. So nobody nobody's trying to necessarily break rules, right? I think sometimes people do and they
Right.
don't realize it. And you have to have that conversation. You have to have that communication. You have to make it quite clear. But yeah, I remember when the Matariza stuff was going on. I remember we went out to practice the day before he was released, maybe, and like we were told right away, "Hey, he's not here, and you can tweet that." Like, because that's important news, and we want you to know that. Otherwise,
Right.
when we get out there, we cannot tweet attendance until after practice is over.
Mhm. Speaking of the Matariza, I was actually just yesterday looking that stuff up. I don't know if it's going to come out any day now, but they did get the DNA test back in regards to finding out whether or not Matt matched to the group of men that they got the rape kit from that girl. So I think that story is about to blow up pretty quickly because it literally, I think it was like 2 weeks ago that information came out. So, but obviously, without being in the NFL team, it doesn't have as much gas on that fire right